On a frosty night, October 10, 1835, days after the skirmish at Gonzales, four armed revolutionary groups of patriots were stealthily making their way in the dark to their pre-planned positions, making ready for their assault on the Mexican stronghold at Presidio La Bahia near Goliad. The strategy was for four groups to launch a sneak attack after dark on the bastion held by the Mexican army. Three assault units comprised the fighting Texians from the Matagorda Volunteer Company, under the command of George M. Collinsworth, and one group consisted of the fighting Tejanos from the Tejano Volunteer Company, led by Placido Benavidez. Welcome to TVC History. My name is Alex Andrew. I'm your host and history ambassador, and today we have to talk about a young Texian patriot who was injured at the Battle of Goliad and became famous as the first casualty of the Texas Revolution. Join me today as I present the life events of a young Texian who fought for Texas, was severely injured in battle, and stood with this new Republic of Texas his whole life in our video presentation entitled First Blood. But first, let me welcome you if this is your first time on our TBC page. You're at the right place if you love Texas revolutionary history. We're glad you're here. So please hit the like and subscribe buttons and become part of our family. Additionally, if you don't want to miss out on any future videos, hit the bell notification button right now so you can catch all our stories. And finally, support our page and efforts by purchasing your copy of our book, Tejano Volunteer Company, Stories of Our Texas Revolution by J.L. Gonzalez, available on Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. Now let's get back to our presentation. On the morning of October 10, 1835, the Battle of Goliad commenced in the pre-dawn hours, when the Texians and Tejanos attacked the fort near Goliad. A Mexican lookout watching that night saw the Texians and Tejanos coming, so he instantly gave the alarm. One of the Texian sharpshooters then shot him dead. The Texians and Tejanos then proceeded to hack through a door on the north wall of the fortress with axes the local citizens had brought them. Once the attacking forces successfully entered the courtyard charging, a shot rang out as they reached the Mexican officers' quarters. A young patriot was shot from the Matagorda Volunteer Company leading the charge. He was hit as he charged in on his white horse. A musket ball hit him on his shoulder, and the force knocked him off his horse. All Texian and Tejano eyes were on their fallen and motionless comrade for what seemed like a long second. It seemed like that act made this battle personal because right after, the Texians and Tejanos released a fire barrage that overwhelmed the Mexicans.
Fire!
The Texians and Tejanos launched non-stop fire volleys for approximately 30 minutes. The Mexicans organized and returned fire even through this massive barrage of lead. When the fighting subsided for a minute, a fighting Texian from Matagorda yelled out, "We will massacre everyone unless you come out immediately and surrender." The Mexican garrison immediately surrendered, and the Texian/Tejano forces won the day. The Battle of Goliad was over. The young Texian patriot shot that morning was 25 years old. History remembers this young patriot as Samuel McCulloch Jr., a free black man who became known as the first Texan casualty of the Revolution. Samuel McCulloch Jr. was born in the Abbeville district of South Carolina on October 11, 1810. Sam moved with his white father, Samuel McCulloch Sr., to Montgomery, Alabama in 1815. In May 1835, Samuel McCulloch Sr., a single man, moved to Texas with Sam Jr. and three daughters, Jane, Harriet, and Mahalie. The family settled on the Lavaca River in what is now Jackson County. Samuel McCulloch Jr. and his sisters were considered free blacks. On a Monday evening, October 6, 1835, at the very opening of the Texas Revolution, a gathering was held at the home of Sylvanus Hatch in Matagorda. The younger McCulloch and about 50 settlers from the area enlisted with the Matagorda Volunteer Company at this meeting. At that meeting, the group elected George Collinsworth as their captain. Dr. William Carlson was named first lieutenant, and D.C. Collinsworth became the unit's second lieutenant. After appointing their leaders, the new officers marched on La Bahia. They intended to kidnap Mexican General Cas and, if possible, steal the estimated 50,000 rumored to accompany him. Goliad was about 110 miles away, and the volunteers started their journey to Goliad the following day. At 8 that morning, Captain Collinsworth commanded the unit, now known as the Matagorda Volunteer Company, to march to their objective. Their first stop was Victoria, where Captain Collinsworth enlisted more English-speaking settlers from other settlements and 30 Tejanos led by Placido Benavidez. Their ranks swelled to about 125 fighting Texians and Tejanos, primarily young men. That early morning at the onset of the revolution, Sam and his militia unit participated bravely at the Battle of Goliad, an early Texan victory. But unfortunately, Sam received a musket ball shot to his shoulder during that historic battle. The musket ball shattered his right shoulder, left him disabled for nearly a year, and crippled him for life. Sam McCulloch remained at Goliad for 3 weeks after the battle, incapacitated by his wound. John Paulin, a friend and fellow Matagorda volunteer, then carried Sam back to Victoria, where he stayed a short while. All of this while Sam was in constant pain day and night. Later, Sam had to leave his home quickly in his disabled state when he and other settlers fled to escape, and joined up with the retreating Texian army during the runaway scrape. That was 5 months after Sam incurred his battle injury. Sam still had a musket ball in his shoulder and lived in constant suffering and pain. Later, his friends noted that his tough mindset and strong body kept him alive during those dark days. 9 months later, on July 8, 1836, after the Battle of San Jacinto, a surgeon in the Texan army, Dr. Nicholas D. Labadie, finally removed the musket ball from this young man's shoulder. 2 months after the doctor removed the musket ball and Sam settled in this new Republic of Texas, the new Constitution of 1836 threatened McCulloch's rights to residence and property. A charter in this constitution contained a provision barring Africans and the descendants of Africans and Indians from citizenship, and another that required all free blacks to apply to Congress for permanent residence in the Republic of Texas. Sam McCulloch, a Texas patriot with Revolutionary battle injuries not yet completely healed, was asked to apply for citizenship in the country he had bravely represented in battle. Therefore, Sam was required to petition the Texas Congress in 1837 for citizenship and his right to receive land grants for his participation in the Texas Revolution. The petition outlined his service in the Texas Army at the Battle of Goliad, stated that he had been the first Texan wounded in the Revolution, and supported his request for land with the announcement that he had recently become the head of a family. Unfortunately, a committee on behalf of the new Texas Republic effectively rejected McCulloch's request for citizenship and headright land. No citizenship, no land. Even though Texas turned him down, Sam would not turn against the republic he served and fought for. Instead, he decided to stay in Texas, and that same year, McCulloch married a beautiful young lady, Mary Lorna Vess, the white daughter of Jonathan Vess. The latter moved to Austin's colony sometime between 1821 and 1824. The McCullochs were never prosecuted for breaking the law against interracial marriage, which had passed 2 months before as part of the June 5 Act in 1837. Once again, later in 1837, McCulloch became eligible for bounty land by an act of the Texas Congress approved in December of that year, which entitled persons permanently disabled in the service of Texas to 1 league grants. But once more, Sam would have to wait for his land because on February 5, 1840, Texas Congress passed an act, the Ashworth Act. Adopting the Congressional Act mandated all free blacks to leave Texas within 2 years or be sold into slavery. Leave Texas, or become a slave. Again, Sam McCulloch made a personal appeal and tendered a petition, presented by Patrick Usher, asking Sam and his immediate family to be exempt from that act. 6 months later, on November 10, 1840, a relief bill for the McCullochs was passed. History remembers that Sam was allowed to stay and live in the land he loved and fought for, and not be sold into slavery. Sam and Mary remained married until Mary's death on November 8, 1847, and had 4 children. At least one of their sons, Lewis Clark McCulloch, served in the Confederate Army. Even with his handicap, Samuel McCulloch fought against Comanche Indians at the Battle of Plum Creek on August 11 and 12, 1840. When Mexican General Adrian Wool invaded San Antonio in 1842, McCulloch served as a spy under the command of Colonel Clark L. Owen. In 1841, he and his family moved from Lavaca County to Wallace Prairie in Grimes County, but in 1845, they resettled in Jackson County. Finally, on December 7, 1850, years after Sam received the Revolution's first battle wound during the Battle of Goliad, Sam received his long overdue land for his service, located on Frio Road and the south bank of the Medina River, 14 miles southwest of San Antonio. McCulloch sold a third of his bounty land to John Toohey on October 22, 1851, and in 1852, he finally moved with his family to the region of present-day Von Ormy in Bexar County, where he lived as a farmer and cattleman. Sam was wounded fighting for Texas independence, something he believed in. He was that exemplary man of the 1800s who survived a war, a life-threatening injury, the prejudices of that time in history, and everything else an unsure life could produce. Nevertheless, Sam rose every day with a prodigious and optimistic disposition. Sam McCulloch Jr. was a true patriot of our Texas Revolution. On April 20th and 21st, 1889, Sam, at the age of 79, attended the Texas Veterans Association annual reunion in Dallas for the first time, where he met with old friends. According to family tradition, when Sam walked into the room on that day in Dallas, the attending Revolutionary veterans already present cheered at the sight of Sam when he arrived. Many thought he had died from that shot on October 10, 1835, and his matador of friends who served with him had not seen him since that fateful night. Sam was loved and respected by Texians and Tejanos alike and lived his life as a free, proud Texan. Sam died at Von Ormy on November 2, 1893. His name is on the Texas Veterans Death Roll for April 21, 1894. This post is dedicated to all of Sam's descendants living in Texas and worldwide. They proudly continue to carry the torch handed down to them by Samuel McCulloch, Jr., remembered as the first casualty of the Texas Revolution, to the benefit of this republic, Texas. Thank you, Sam, for your service, deeds of bravery, and heroic devotion to our republic, Texas. Thank you for being with us today and allowing us to bring you this video presentation entitled First Blood. I'm Alex Andrew with TVC History. Thanks for watching, and remember, Texas heroes never forget.